Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Nev from Nev's Tech Bits, otherwise known as a friendly neighborhood basement dweller. Don't worry, ma'am, I am from the internet. I want to talk about Mr. Kirk getting just yesterday. Now, first off, I wasn't the biggest fan of this guy. I thought he had some really interesting and intelligent points at some points, but other points I'm just not there with them. I'm a little more left leaning. At the same time, I like to celebrate people's right to live. Now, there was a time when doing unconscionable things like ending somebody's life was considered a far right thing, because the people on the far left were all hippies. They were the ones putting roses in the weapons or flowers. What was it, a daisy? Anyways, things have changed these days. The internet is serious business. The internet is spreading hate at a rate that is just phenomenal, uncalculatable. And as a progressive, I gotta say, I'm really worried about what I see and where we're going. There used to be a time when being progressive meant that you were a tree hugger, a hippie, and you would be passive aggressive. In order to stop something from happening, you wouldn't kill someone. You would put yourself in a tree, you would lock yourself on a road, you would do something like that. But as more time has gone on, especially on TikTok, we have so much hate being slung around back and forth, back and forth. Well, it is on Reddit too, I gotta say. And politics have changed. Politics are serious business now. And politics are becoming very, very, very tech related. The left have organized under different banners, under different places that used to be specifically for entertainment, engagement. And if there's one thing I'm seeing from social media is a lot of hate. Now, if you've been in marketing class and media class, you find out that what you're supposed to want to do is drive people to action. If you're making a documentary, you're supposed to drive people to action. That's on the checklist that we had when we were being graded. And I definitely see it happening more and more. We got a lot of people stretching the truth. We got a lot of people just trying to get other people up in arms. Over on the left-hand side, the whole idea of punching a Nazi has become a big thing, a big deal. And while I do love the idea of punching a Nazi, the definition of who is a Nazi is phenomenal. It's huge. Everyone's a Nazi these days. Everyone. If you don't agree with someone, automatically Nazi. The words have lost all meaning. But what is terrifying is that the hippies have started to gain a bloodlust. And hippie bloodlust hasn't been a thing since Charles Manson. Charles Manson, who identified himself as a hippie and did all of those horrible things, well, got other people to do these horrible things anyways. Now we're seeing more and more of this. The object of hate has definitely been spread. Now, I was raised Christian, and I had been in a lot of progressive Christian places, and it was interesting how you could see Christians with a heart full of hate, hateful about paganism, hateful about all kinds of different things. And it was that hatred of paganism that pushed me towards it. I'm more pagan than Christian today. I find that you can take certain points of almost any religion and find beautiful points. Like, I think one of the most controversial religions these days is Muslims, and my favorite scripture in the Quran is if a person was to save one person, then it's like he's saving the whole world. And if a person was to kill one person, it's as if he's killed the whole world. That's beautiful. That's very beautiful. So within all of these things, we can find great things. And within paganism, we can find really dark things. Within anything, we can find there's the good and the bad and the bad and the good. We have the yin and the yang. And that's how it goes. That's how it goes. So we got to learn to work together and not just fight each other so much. But one thing I'm definitely really bothered by is how much TikTok, specifically TikTok, is spreading hate and how we have to get back to where we were. Because this is really concerning. This is really concerning. Like, for example, last night on TikTok, my girlfriend sends me this TikTok saying that it's not the same if when men ask when women ask for how big someone is, it's the same as no, sorry. If when men ask a woman how much she weighs, is the same as a woman asking how tall a man is. And to me, they're both the same thing. Women like tall guys; are attracted to that. Men like young women who are thin. That's just the way it goes. But this guy on TikTok saying that it's two very different things, and then he just goes so damn fast. There's no stop. It's like TikTok gets you up here, it holds you here, and you stay there, and man, you're up there. But anyways, ultimately, where he went with was women. It's about power, and women need to be worried about their safety, and that's why it's a reasonable thing for women to ask these things. But it's got me wondering: is he saying that small people are dangerous? Is that what he's saying? Because these days we're all about the zingy one-liners, and we don't have any analytics. We don't have the ability to even play devil's advocate anymore, or anything like that. And I'm really concerned that these social media is going to lead us into a civil war soon. I'm kind of surprised we haven't already had one. I mean, the George Floyd protests slash riots were started because someone on Twitter or X recorded that guy. That's a bad way to go. I'm not saying he was a wonderful person. If you look into it and what his history was and criminal and whatnot, he had some sins. But at the same time, when you look into psychology, when you get educated, you find out that minorities definitely had a rough time, and they definitely were unable to get the help that they needed, both medically and mentally. And there is a disproportionate amount of minorities that have mental problems because of the situations. Like, for example, we all know that there were places that were set off for black people to live, and those places had much less economic viability. And there's definitely something to be said about that. We can't throw out any of these points, but they're all absolutely true and absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. But at the same time, we got to celebrate our differences. We have to come to the center. We have to meet each other within the center, and we can't be hurting each other. We can't be offing one another. We need to help the people that have mental problems. We need to get them care, not like the kind of care that black guy got. He was supposed to have had care when he stabbed that poor Ukrainian woman. He didn't get the care that he needed. He absolutely didn't get the care he needed. He was schizophrenic, and he thought that woman was stealing her thoughts. He went after her with a pocket knife, and geez, I'm still blown away that she managed to pass away from it. Like, I get it, but it's interesting how some of the most minor things can take you out. Wow, a pocket knife, eh? And I'm also blown away by the fact that he had so many. Sorry, that was me. Had so many problems that, and they weren't taking care of what he's in there for 14 rounds. But anyways, this isn't a situation that we're going to solve by hurting one another. And this is all a social media thing. This is all a social media thing. And this is very tech related because of it, which is all very heartbreaking. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's it from me. I hope we come out of this. I hope there ain't going to be a civil war, but I feel one coming. And I hope I'm wrong. Have a good one, folks. Take care of each other.